The Xbox One. In 2013, Microsoft revealed the Xbox One, the faster, more powerful, and more versatile successor to the enormously popular and well-received Xbox 360. With this next iteration, Microsoft intended to push the limits of what a games console was, making it a multimedia device for everyone. It was meant to be the all-in-one entertainment system. What followed was one of the most infamous product reveals and launches in gaming history, a literal masterclass on how to alienate your own audience. This is the story of how the Xbox One failed. I'm making this video as a sort of pseudo-sequel to the PS3 video, because to be quite perfectly honest, I need the watch time. To understand the fall, we first need to understand the rise. The Xbox 360 was an absolutely massive success. It outsold the PS3 in North America, and introduced Xbox Live to millions, and spawned the game that at the time was the most successful entertainment product of all time, and kicked off legendary franchises like Gears of War and Mass Effect. The Xbox brand had gained absolutely enormous momentum. All they had to do was improve on the already successful Xbox 360 by evolving the established formula. So what did they do? That's right, get rid of absolutely everything that made the Xbox 360 so loved. May 2013. Microsoft takes the stage to reveal the Xbox One, but instead of jaw-dropping footage of the new and mind-blowing experiences that awaited us in this exciting new generation, we got cable TV, fantasy football, Skype calls, and a heavy focus on Microsoft's answer to the Nintendo Wii, the Kinect. The focus was so heavy on promoting the Xbox One's home entertainment hub capabilities that it didn't even really feel like the reveal of a next-generation games console. In the reveal, they said TV 30 times. The games that the console was supposedly developed for were barely mentioned. Later on, Microsoft even confirmed that they scaled back the computing and graphics power to make space for more entertainment hub capabilities on the console. But it somehow managed to get even worse. Microsoft announced aggressively enforced DRM policies. You had to check in online every 24 hours to play games, even single player ones. You know that thing that you used to be able to do back when games were on discs, where you'd have a friend who wanted to play a game you had, and you'd give it to them? You couldn't even do that. Game ownership was now tied to your account. Instead of immediately deciding to reverse out of the debacle they'd created, the then head of Xbox, Don Matrick, gave us this absolutely incendiary statement.
Gone the other way if we didn't do it, and fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360, that's your message?
This was possibly the most poorly judged statement in the history of marketing, and the gaming community descended upon him like vultures. Sony smelled blood in the water, and at E3 2013 they dropped this absolute bombshell.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
The crowd went wild, Microsoft was humiliated. Days later they backpedaled, but the damage was already done. To make matters worse, Microsoft bundled the Kinect with every Xbox One, raising the price to $499, a full $100 more than the PS4. The promises were voice commands, motion control, futuristic interactivity, and Wii-style active games on Xbox. The reality was clunky, unresponsive tech that players mostly ignored. Then came the leadership shuffle. The towering intellect of Don Matrick was promptly ejected from Xbox management, and Phil Spencer took his place. Under Spencer's more competent leadership, Microsoft gradually began to right the ship, unbundling Kinect, dropping prices to a more competitive level, and refocusing on being, a games console. Later on in the generation, the management behind the $3 trillion behemoth that is Microsoft made a genuinely good move by releasing both the Xbox One X and One S. The One X was a piece of kit that was laser focused on gaming, with a better CPU and GPU, more RAM, and an all-around course correction for the brand, and the Series S, which was closer to the original vision of the Xbox One, with the same computing and graphics power, but was capable of 4K gaming. Both consoles sold fairly well for a mid-gen refresh, and eventually clawed overall Xbox One sales to a reasonable 36 million units, although still less than half of the Xbox 360's numbers. Separating the hardcore players from the more casual audience who just wanted a solid entertainment hub with gaming capabilities turned out to be a genius move, and was carried forward into the ninth generation with the highly affordable and multimedia-focused Series S and the power-focused Series X. Still though, only 500 gigabytes of storage in the year 2025? Really? Ironically, many of the ideas behind the Xbox One were ahead of their time. Digital libraries, streaming capabilities, and a unified media center, these are now industry standards, but there were definitely less intrusive ways of integrating them into the platform. By now, Xbox has rebounded with Game Pass, backwards compatibility, and powerful hardware, but the Xbox One will always be remembered as a misstep, a product that forgot what it was for. It tried to be everything, but ended up being nothing that anyone wanted. A cautionary tale to any company to never forget their audience. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing as it really does help small channels that are just getting started like this one. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.